Hi everyone, this is Katie Carney and this is my floss tube number 71 and it is October 2nd and we're 2 weeks out from my birthday, which is on October 16th, so that's exciting. It has been a while since I recorded. I think the last time I recorded was either right before or right after I started my new medication. Um, and I see my cardiologist for my 1 month follow up tomorrow. So I have the day off work tomorrow. I will be heading to New Jersey for an appointment. So if you want to keep your fingers crossed for me, that would be great. It's been a busy, I guess it's either been 3 weeks or 4 weeks. I don't remember which. Isn't that terrible? I had the closing of a chapter with my last job. There had been some stuff that happened after I left that I had kind of moved into the limelight, let's say. And that chapter closed last week, and I have to tell you, it was really a release. I loved that job, and I do miss working for the Wine Society, but it worked out for the best. I love working where I am now, and I truly think that I found a home. It's definitely interesting being an administrative assistant as opposed to the managerial roles I had in the last couple positions that I was in, but I think that I have made myself as helpful as I can, and I think that the sisters like me, and I think it's a great fit for me. So that's it. That chapter is closed. So that was a big thing that just happened. And like I said, I started the new medication and the orchestra started back up last week. So Mark and I went to Philadelphia on Wednesday and we saw the orchestra's premiere. The soloist, his name was Lang Lang. He's from China and he opened the Beijing Olympics in 2008. So it was interesting to see him. We've actually seen several performers who have opened Olympic Games. We saw a jazz pianist who opened the games in South Korea. So we've seen some really fantastic performers over the years that we've been together. So it was definitely exciting. It's always hard during the summer because we don't see as much of each other just because of his work schedule and we don't have that set time of the orchestra. It's hard to make time. So it was definitely good to spend time with him. I had Wednesday afternoon off, which was nice. Thursday is when we COVID test at work though. And let me tell you, I was tired. Not as young as I used to be, but that's okay. So orchestra's back in season. We don't have a full season this year, but we are going quite a bit. So we'll definitely be busy. So yeah, happy October, my favorite month of the year. I have my Hocus Pocus sweatshirt on. I made this on my Cricut. So it's just Hocus Pocus University, come we fly. I have not seen the new one yet. I do have Disney Plus, but I just haven't watched it yet. My friend and my godson and his two older sisters, my godson's 6 weeks old, are coming to my house on Friday, and we're going to watch the original with Fra. We're going to do pizza, and then I got, the girls, I got one of them a little Halloween book. The older sister, I got her a little necklace that's candy corn and it lights up, and I got some Halloween, plates and cups and stuff, and I bought a bag of popcorn and I'll make something for dessert. I don't know what yet. So that'll be fun. So that's my Friday night coming up. And I think that's really all I have to tell you. So this is my first FFO. I think I've made 6 of these. So I made myself one. I made the mom of my godson, Heather. I made her one. And then tomorrow, after my appointment, I'm going to their house to see the baby, and she got the girls each a sweatshirt, so I'll make it smaller and I will make them each one. So we'll all match on Friday except for Fra. And I would make her one, but she would not wear it. So it's why waste the sweatshirt? So that'll be fun. And then my second FFO is I finished and blocked now my sweater. Where's the front? So this is it's huge. It's like a dress practically. So sometime I will actually wear this when I'm recording, but you can see it's longer in the back. I still have to cut this off. This is a stitch marker that I accidentally stitched into the project, so I just have to get a pair of, I just have to cut it off with metal wire cutters. So that's done, and I do know what I want to start next, and I will show that to you in plans. I have the yarn for it already. And then this I'm just going to wear with, it's kind of low cut for me, so I'll put a turtleneck under it and wear that and just leggings. So that's good. And then I only have 3 whips, one that I've maybe put 20 stitches in. I have been walking a lot at work. So I take 15-minute breaks. I take a walk with a coworker during them. And then I used to stitch at lunch after I finished eating. And I don't know why, but I have been unable to stitch during that time. I feel like this itch to move. So I've been doing that. I've been going out and taking a very quick walk. We have a half hour for lunch. So I haven't really been stitching. And then I used to stitch for like the 15 minutes before I got to work. And I haven't been that early just because my schedule, I work 8 to 4:30, but Thursdays I go in at 7:30, and then my coworker was out for a couple weeks, so a couple days I went in at 7 to kind of cover for her. So haven't had much stitching time. But anyway, it's my Prairie Schooler Santa, 1990. And I've just continued working on the little raccoon down here. He's very cute. I do need to work on, maybe I'll work on this tonight. I'll work on this tonight. That'll be my resolution for the evening, will be to work on this. So I'm glad I'm recording because now I'll remember. And then I have gotten a lot of work done on my next whip. And that is my Celtic Autumn. Where is the picture of her? That is not the picture of her. Not in the bag. So this is what she actually looks like. I am doing the conversion to what I consider more autumnal colors. And there's what my conversion looks like. This is my oldest whip. I think it's my oldest whip. If not, it's my second oldest whip. And the last time you all saw this, I had worked on this section down here. And then, so I don't know if you can see on here because it's a copy from a copier. So the outline on her dress, that's all, it's supposed to be Kreinik. I'm using gold thread from DMC. I finished the first spool of it. Hang on, let me show it to you. And started my second, and it is just DMC metallic thread. And I just decided that I'm going to work on the gold until the gold is done. So I got pretty close actually to finishing the gold, and then I kind of burned out. So here is, so that down there, hang on, so that gold down there, that took forever. That's a lot of stitches. And then I'm sure, as you know, with gold thread, you really can't do a long thread. So you're just constantly starting and stopping. So that took about 2 weeks. It must be a month since I filmed. But anyway, I got this out, worked on her. And then So you can see once that scroll work, so all the outline of the scroll work is gold. Once that's done, it's just really a straight line of gold up the skirt. So, and then here's the whole thing. Don't have much room at the bottom, so that'll be an interesting frame job from Hobby Lobby, my favorite place to have things framed. And let me put this back in the bag. So what I'll do is I'll work on that Prairie Schooler Santa tonight, and then the plan is that I'll pull Celtic Autumn back out until my birthday, because I'm having a birthday new start. Sorry if I don't put all this away. Well, it looks like a bomb went off in my room anyway, all the time. Last week, I'll tell you a funny story. Not terribly funny, funny enough. So last week, we had to turn the heat on because it went from like super hot to frigid. And Fra's downstairs, freezing to death, wool blanket on, complaining of blah, 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 blah. So our house is zoned in the downstairs dining room. That's the only zone. So no matter how cold it is, no matter what, the heat registers on that room. So no matter how hot or cold it is in the rest of the house, if it's cold in there, the heat goes on and heat rises. And I live on the second floor. And it'll be 80 to 85 degrees up here in the winter. Even with the windows open, if there's no breeze, there's no air coming in. So it's just unbearably hot. And I had asked Mark about, like, can you put a second zone in? Like, is that something you can do? And he's like, yeah, I'm an electrical engineer. I install HVAC. Like, yes. And I was like, oh, well, could you look at mine at some point? Now, usually when I ask him for things, it is not something that happens quickly, which is fine. There's no great rush. It's been like this since the 70s. Well, that night at 9 o'clock, 10 after 9 p.m., he messages me and he's like, I'm going to come over. Oh, because he asked me what size pipes they were. Do I strike you as someone who knows about copper pipes? I don't even know where the heat pipes are. I know where the boiler is, but past that, I got pretty much nothing. And I don't know, like, I don't know. So anyway, he's like, well, I'll come over. 10 after 9, he sends me a message. I'm going to come look at the pipes now. And I was like, now? Get ready to go to bed. What do you want? So he rolls in and he looks like he's been working on his car all day. So he's like kind of greasy. And I go down the basement with him. Now, I have not told my grandmother any of this. So she is, unhappy that we're down the basement. She doesn't know why. So he's puttering around. Well, it turns out that the boiler has some erosion and the water heater has some erosion at the top. The water heater must have overflowed at some point. Now, we get our boiler cleaned yearly, and this erosion is definitely older than a year. So the guys who are cleaning our boiler, I don't know if they're just standing down there drinking a cup of coffee or what, but whatever. So, Mark's down there, he's trying to find the pipes. I just dropped my gold thread on the floor. I'm sorry. Mark's down there, he's looking at the pipes, and then he's like figuring it all out, whatever. None of it's making sense to me, trying to figure out which pipes go where, and then he has to come upstairs to the second floor. I'm not prepared for this. I don't want to call myself a hoarder, because I don't think I am. But this room here, it's not a big room. That room back there is a small room. These two rooms, no closet. I have a hall closet, and that's where, like, my hanging clothes are, and then I have a tub on the floor of my DVDs, and I have a tub on the floor of, like, extra bath products, and then I have a bag in the back of off-season, like, bedding. And then in this room, I've got 2 bookcases, my desk, the dresser, the big bookcase here, and then that bookcase. But like, I knit, I sew, I cross stitch, I read. All of my hobbies are things that take up a lot of room. And Mark is so clean and neat, and my house is old, and I have the windows open, and no matter how much I dust, it's dusty, and the carpet, no matter how much I vacuum it, it's still dusty, and the carpet's 55 years old at this point. And he comes upstairs, and where do you think that the heating lines are? Well, Catherine Mary, they're against the wall, where there's furniture everywhere. And he is crawling around on the floor in the dust and in my stuff. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to break up with this man. He has seen the mess. I'm mortified. I'm so embarrassed. And he is making jokes about it because that's what he does, and he doesn't understand like that I am legit having a panic attack between Fra downstairs freaking out about what we're doing and him upstairs like digging around. I was a disaster. So what's going to happen is I'm going to get a new zone up here, which is great because I'll be able to keep it livable up here. But also, I was like, I can't throw away all my things. And then, he's never going to marry me because I have so much stuff. And then the next day I woke up and I remembered that he has a 4-bay garage with a lift in it and it's full. So maybe judge not lest ye be judged. Anyway, that was my funny story about having a bit of a panic attack when Mark came up here. And, like, I don't sleep in here anymore. I sleep in Fra's old room. But, like, I don't have anything in there. I sleep in the bed. I have the books by the bed that I read. But, like, stuff-wise, none of my clothes are in there. Nothing. It's just me sleeping in there. So everything I have, except for my off-season clothes, are in these 2 rooms. So, yeah, I have a lot of stuff. But, yeah, I don't have a lot of storage for a 36-year-old. I'll be 36. I'm not there yet. Anyway, let's talk about my new start. Oh, I love you guys. Please don't hate me for this completely absurd video. So, as I've told you, I work at a convent for retired sisters. And there's about 90 who live there-ish. It fluctuates. And I have become close with one of the sisters. And we do, for lack of a better term, adult catechism. On Sundays, I meet with her from 1 to 2. And we just started a 7-month deep meditative program that was started by St. Ignatius. And it's very intensive. We've been meeting for a couple months. It's wonderful. She has really helped me learn, and she is teaching so beautifully and definitely deepening my faith, and I'm very grateful. But I was like, what am I going to get her for Christmas? I want to get her something, but she doesn't need anything. And my first week that we met, my homework for that week was to read the Gospel of John. But the thing that she really wanted me to read was the prologue of the Gospel of John. So that's that first part at the beginning. And the first line is, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And we read that over and over, and we talked about it, and it was just wonderful. So I was like, I want to cross stitch that for her. And I was like, how am I going to find a pattern? I'm on Etsy. They have all these other verses all over. And I reached out to Lifted Spirit on Etsy, and I sent her a message because she does, what I wanted was one of those round in a hoop patterns. And I said, listen, if I send you a verse, will you put one in that kind of design? And she said, yes, I will. And you just have to tell me what colors you want and the verse. And then she said, and I don't upcharge for this if you're willing to let me sell it. So she designed this pattern for me, and it cost me $4.50. And I've never bought something so fast in my life. So this is the pattern. Sister loves pink, which is great because I also love pink. And I decided to do this on, I didn't want to do it on white. I had white out, and then I had a white with the like tinsel in it, so it was shiny or glittery. And then I had a blue, and then I had this that I had hand dyed. So this is a 28 count Lugana, I think, from Michaels that I hand dyed with the thought of using it for my lavender and lace piece. The girl sitting looking out over the water. And the color didn't work. So what I did was I pulled it for this, and I started it 2 or 3 weeks ago on a Sunday night, and I love it. So I finished the outline, the border today. Hang on. It's big because it's a 28 count, so it's going to need an 11-inch frame, hoop, excuse me. And I just think it's gorgeous. I love, love, love it. I think that's the right way. Yeah, that's the right way. I'm right. So, and actually I used, instead of the called for DMC, I converted it to Anchor. And I did use a couple less shades than it called for, but I don't think you can tell at all. And I think it is very, very beautiful. And I am 100% holding this wrong. Am I? Yes. Let's try this again. Here we go. This is the way it goes. No, it's not. Why am I so stupid? So I did this flower last. And I changed the color yellow on that because I didn't want to have to cut another piece of it. There. No. There. Now, I'd give up. It's a circle, guys. It doesn't matter. Isn't it beautiful, though? I love it. I really do. I think it's beautiful. So once I'm going to work on, it didn't take me that long. It's a pretty big piece, and I thought it was going to take me months, especially because I've been not having time to stitch a lot. And when you sit down and actually do it, it's not that bad. And letters for me are very fast. So I could probably finish this in another day or 2 or 3 days maybe. But yeah, this is for Sister. I'm going to frame it in a hoop. I have to get a hoop though, because I don't have an 11-inch. I'll probably take it with me to the store and make sure it's going to fit. It's beautiful and I love it. And I hope Sister loves it as much as I do. I had to have one of the other sisters in the house find out her favorite color. So she did a little bit of digging for me, which was fun. I'm just very grateful for her time, and I have gained so much that I hope that this small token shows her how grateful I am. So that is that. Now let's look at what my plans are. Just give me 1 second to grab them. First off, I need to work on frost Christmas ornaments, and I just haven't felt like getting the sewing machine out. So that is on the list. Hopefully by the time I see you guys next time, I'll have finished Christmas ornaments. But for my next knitting project, I'm going to work on, this is called the Swancho. And it's really pretty. It's one size fits all. And I tried it on. It does actually fit all. And there's all different versions of this. There's a hooded one. There's the cardigan. There's an Aran one somewhere. Here, the leafy vine one. So there's all different ones. I just want to make a plain one to get a feel for it. But I love it, so I want to make lots and lots of them because it's so comfortable and beautiful. So that's my knitting start. I do like to have a knitting project on the go. And then my birthday's on a Sunday, and I will, of course, meet with sister. But then when I get home, I'm going to start Autumn at Hawk Run. And then my first goal for this one will be to do the outline. Just get that done. That'll be my first goal, which will take forever. But my friend for my birthday on the 15th, I think she's coming, is gonna put all these on rings for me. So those are my plans. Not a ton going on here. I'd like to finish that Prairie Schooler. I have a baby blanket I need to do for a cousin who's having a baby. I want to finish Sister Redemptus piece at some point in Celtic Autumn. So it's definitely my favorite time of year for stitching, even more so than Christmas. So I hope that you're all well. Thank you for catching up with me in this not very stitch heavy and very talkative video. I had fun chatting with you. I love your comments. Thank you for them. If I don't comment back, it's not that I didn't read it. It's not that I don't love it. It's just that I am, I guess, disorganized. I can only handle so much organization. But thank you, and I hope that you all stay safe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye!